Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually go to the Agility CMS website. So agilitycms.com, and I'm going to find the Slack link because I always have a hard time finding that. I think it's under events. So scroll down. I'm going to actually give that to everyone because this is, I find, one of the most useful things to stay in contact with folks moving forward if people don't jump on Twitter. So if you're a Slack community type person, jump onto there and ask all kinds of questions about Slack and whatnot. So how do we get started with what we're going to be working with today? And everything we're going to be using today, by the way, is 100% free, and really generous free offerings. So the Netlify we're going to be working with is free. We can use Vercel as well. They have really generous free offerings. And Agility CMS, excuse me, has a free developer package as well with a lot of basically, up to 5 users, 2,500 content items. So you can build free websites that are real. So I'm going to go to starters. I didn't have time to get the actual Eleventy starter on our website for today, but the content that we're going to be talking about is exactly the same as our Next.js starter. So when you're doing this, if you're going to follow along or you're watching the recording and following along, click on here. So go to starters, click on next, and then click on start free project. So what this is going to do is actually ask me to log into Agility or sign in. So there's like a little sign up thing here. I'm going to sign up with I'm doing exactly what you guys would be doing. So, Joe Vardy plus Eleventy at gmail.com. You can sign up with any email address that you want. And I need uppercase. Okay. Lowercase. Oh, geez. I really suck at passwords. Hopefully that'll work. I don't remember what I just typed in. Excuse me for a second.
Hey, Joel, can
Yes.
we make that full screen so it looks, because it looks a little small, that's all. Yeah. That's
okay.
awesome.
I'm also going to zoom in a little bit here. Hopefully that'll help.
Yeah.
I know that
Perfect.
zooming,
That's awesome.
Zooming was a thing the last time as well.
Thanks.
Excuse me for, yep, no problem. All right. I'm going to, well, I get a password here that's going to work for this thing. All right. I just didn't want to forget it. All right. Well, I don't think it matters. Okay, so I enter a few more details. Hi, I'm Joel Vardy. What's your role? Hi, I'm a developer. We ask for some stuff. Okay. Okay, so you get in here and it says, what's your project name? So let's do Eleventy, and there's lots of different ways to type Eleventy training. And I'm not going to deploy this site. So just click, I'll deploy my site later. Don't deploy it on Vercel or anything like that just yet, because we haven't done what we need to do yet. Okay, so that'll take a second. It's going to provision our Agility account, and that'll be all set up. So that actually has, what's nice about this is it has a bunch of demo content for us that we can work with, okay? So I created my account and I'm here and that's all set. So what I'm actually going to be doing is following along with the README on the actual project that I wrote. So the first step one, hey, go create an Agility account. Did that. Now we need to clone the repo. I'm going to put a link to this guy. And by the way, I'm a developer, so I talk really fast. If you want me to talk slower, I can talk slower. There you go. Did I just call people slackers? That's hilarious. I meant if you're a Slack user, not a slacker. That's hilarious. Did not mean to say that. That's the GitHub repo there. So what we're going to do is clone that repo. Okay, so I'm going to jump on, open a terminal window, zoom this thing in so you can all see it. And I think I'm in the right spot. Yep, let's go. I'm not so great at Git, but there you go. I'm going to git clone, paste that in. Okay, that should clone all that stuff. And then if I open up this, it should show me my dev. Okay, let's turn off notifications on here too. All right, we got a presenter days. This is fun. Okay, we cloned that. Now we need to find that wherever I cloned that. Eleventy starter somewhere. Here it is. Okay, so I have that. And you're going to open that in your IDE. Pardon me while I just click crazily. All right. If you're a developer, you probably are able to do that pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here a couple times. So hopefully you guys can see my IDE and it actually looks okay. Okay, so that's like step kind of 0 is get the account. Step 1 is open up the code that we're working with, okay? All right. Now we're actually going to need to do a little bit of environment setup before we can run all this. What I actually do is whenever I download some code and say, well, how is this actually going to work? What are the commands? You can usually kind of grok those if you go into the package.json and you can see, hey, there's commands. And I usually look, hey, is there a dev, a start, or a build command, something like that. But if I run that right now, it's not going to work because I don't have my local environment variables set up. So what I'm going to do is just go in here. I'm going to rename the env.example to .env. And you can see that I need to get a couple of sort of things to authenticate to Agility. So jumping back to Agility here, when you on your free account on this main page here, there's a bunch of stuff to learn about Agility and do all that sort of things, which is great to read. But for now, we're just going to click on Get API Keys because it's usually the first thing you need to do, right? Hey, where's my API keys? So we need this instance good. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in here. Hello, good. And then I'm going to get my fetch key. So this fetch is for when you're in live mode. So that's the live, because content usually has the ability to be in live mode or draft or preview mode. So we need a live key, and we need a key to get the preview content. All right. And that's it. We need those 3 values, and we should be able to run this thing right now. And I'm going to run actually in the integrated terminal. So let's try that. So npm run, and I think there was a start. npm run start, and I'll go through this in a second, but let's just get to it and see what this thing actually does. Oh geez, of course it didn't work. Oh yeah, npm install is the first thing you need to do. Yeah, that actually, if I was reading properly, I would have said that. Yeah, one of the questions, I assume this process is more or less identical if using a different headless CMS. Absolutely. Pretty much any headless CMS, you got to go provision your CMS account. Some of them you can provision from the command line, some of them can't. And then get the keys, put it in there. And a lot of the other headless platforms actually have starters as well. So that's usually it's a very similar way to get started.